Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's almost happy hour time, but happy hour, there's a happy hour at any time somewhere in the world, right? So being happy is one of those things that we're all scrambling to figure out right now. And also what we're scrambling to figure out is how to win in this season. And, for some people, this is the season of dread, the season of hope, the season of opportunity, the season, I don't know why, but it is whatever the season you make it be. So one thing I've been hearing a lot about is people talk about what they're hoping for. And, times are so uncertain right now. And uncertainty is just not one of the things that humans do great with. When you look at the really important human needs, certainty is right up there. It's like the first one. So this all has disrupted our certainty to a never experienced before time. So it's just one of those things we've never experienced. We've never known how to get through this. There's no examples. There's no books to read about this or nothing. So there's a lot of hope and there's a lot of not hope. And one of the things I've been talking about with clients this week is like, okay, so hope is a good thing to have, but it is one of those things that doesn't really have a whole lot of foundation. Now, when you can turn that hope into faith, then you actually have something to work with, because faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not yet seen. So it is when you can back up that hope, it becomes faith. And for everybody, it's going to be something different that they back up the hope with. So a really good thing to do to back up your hope with is to realize, like, what were the things missing before all this mess? What was the stuff that left you uncertain and unhappy or not in a space of faith that really didn't work for you? So take a little bit of stock in that and think about, okay, what wasn't working before that certainly isn't going to work going forward? So you have to back up your hope for it to become faith. So that's something that you can actually rely on. That's something you can actually go forward with. That's something that makes you better as a better person, a better human, a better business person, a better, I don't know what, but it is something that is certain in your life that you know you can rely on, and it will make you, put you in a better position. So what I've been talking to a lot of clients about is what to do right now so that they can take the biggest advantage of having received the PPP. So they have received a whole bunch of funds and they can pay their people, which is awesome and amazing and wonderful, and we love that. And at the same time, business is not as usual. So a lot of them can't operate or operate in a very limited way. A lot of them are in a space right now where they needed to pivot and really pursue business differently so that they could keep pursuing business, because what they were doing before is not working right now. And that also leads to having a whole lot of people looking at you going, all right, so what am I supposed to be doing with this time? And how can we make sure that everybody we are paying right now is actually contributing in a way that is useful for business going forward? And that's so important for two reasons. For one, of course, you want to get, if you're paying somebody and you got this great gift of PPP to help people, to help pay people, you want to make sure you take advantage of that fully, so you can make your business better, so that when things turn around, that you can actually operate better than you were before. So that's, of course, your business benefit. But then the business benefit for your people is that they feel like they are contributing, they're impacting, they have a reason to come to work, they have a reason to focus, they have a reason to spend their time with you, and they feel satisfied and fulfilled from doing this work, because that's when you think about what creates a highly performing team, that's one of the biggest elements, is to make sure that the way you set up your people is done in a way so they can feel like they're impacting, they're creating value. Creating value is huge for you and for them, and that they're going home at the end of the day feeling like that was time well spent. So focus is a really big piece. So right now, when everything is so uncertain and when there's very little focus, and I mean, think about it, it's like human psychology is very affected by what's going on the outside. So no matter how much people know how to focus internally, all this stuff that's happening right now is shaking our focus all the time. So you as a business owner or a leader of some type in your community, in your family, it doesn't even matter, but you've been given this opportunity to lead people, to make an impact, to be a role model. So giving people focus is a huge blessing, and it's also a huge responsibility. So for this to work, what's important is that the vision that you're bringing to the table is bigger and better than it was before. So it gives a new focus that makes sense. So I'm not saying do something completely new or start something crazy, but look at what you already have. Look at it from before, as in what wasn't working before, what was already a headache. What do you know you already had to fix so that you could grow and scale and do all those things a business should really do, as in be profitable? So what were all the things that were in your way before that you knew you had to address already? Hey, Alessandra. And you didn't do it yet, and now you have the time to do that. So focusing on those things and making sure that your vision is bigger and better than it ever has been before, so that you can get people focused, so that you can get them operating very efficiently and effectively, so that you can actually right now, while you're not necessarily operating the way you were, you can create this incredible value that will be kind of in your bank account going forward. So making sure that you have that bigger vision that you can really share with people so that you can help them make bigger impact. So not only are they coming to work feeling like they're focused, there's clarity, they're contributing, but they're also creating bigger impact going forward. Now, the other thing around, we started talking about faith. So when you have faith in your abilities, in your systems, in your leadership, in your people, when you have faith because you have a foundation that's working, so you fix all the stuff that wasn't working, so now you have a foundation that's working and that is able to handle all the pressure of growth and scaling, that also eliminates a whole lot of fear. And we all know how good fear-based decisions are, and right now there are a lot of fear-based decisions being made. So you want to make sure that you eliminate fear-based decisions from your repertoire. So right now, I don't care what you believe in, but figure out something that gives you a whole lot of faith, not hope, but faith, so that you can really build that foundation that has your back when you really need some pressure on and you need to really test the validity and the value of this. So making decisions from a place of faith and making the decisions from a place of that you can take your business to this next level as soon as possible, that will make you make decisions from a much more powerful place, and those decisions will be much better at taking your business forward in a more powerful and better way than you were before. So we all know that the only thing that's certain right now is uncertainty, and humans aren't very good at handling uncertainty. So giving them that focus is one of the most simple and best fixes, and it gets you the best results that you could possibly get. So what gives focus is knowing your outcome. Focus on the fruit. When you know what fruit you want to bear, you can create the system that creates focus, you can give people focus, and you get the outcome that you want. So that actually means you have to know your outcome. And, face it, The most productive times in business, in life overall, are generally not the prettiest. A lot of times it comes out of a giant mess. So it might feel super chaotic and messy for quite a while. And that's, when you look at the circle of creation, there's always turbulence before you get out of the turbulence and you start getting into organization. And turbulence is really important for that moment, but it can only be powerful if you stop the turbulence, see what you got from it, and then you organize it in a way that you can use everything that got created at that moment. So use the messy time, like right now is the messy time. Use the messy time to make sure that you get bigger fruit, bigger outcome on the other side of this. So just accept and own that it might be messy for the moment, but if you have the faith, that you have the structure, you have the people and the leadership to get you to a better outcome, you will be able to organize the mess. And that's like, we want to make sure we organize that mess. So we know that the most productive time might not be the prettiest. It might be super messy, and that's okay. Having faith does not eliminate uncertainty. It operates by uncertainty. And operating by uncertainty, when you're an entrepreneur, you already know how that works, because nothing is ever certain in business. The only thing, death and taxes, we know about that. But so when you learn how to operate in a place of uncertainty because you have faith, because you have the right systems, people, and leadership in place so that you can do this, this will take you to that next level. So the most important thing from everything I've said today is that you have to control your focus. You have to have faith and you have to control your focus when you want that bigger outcome. And I think everybody who's sitting here right now and wondering how this is all going to play out, we all want the best outcome possible. So instead of focusing on a smaller outcome, which a lot of people are doing who are in fear, they're driven all day long by, what's the smaller outcome going to be that I will get, because that's what they believe in. You can also focus, you can flip it, and you can focus on that bigger outcome because you have faith and you have focus. And when you have faith and focus, you can create that much bigger outcome that's on the other side of that can make sure that your business is not just surviving, it's thriving, your people are thriving. You don't have to lay off people. You're able to operate much better than you were before, and you can hit the ground running and grow. So faith and focus is massively important. So how do you control your focus? It starts by kind of taking it apart, deconstructing it, because really what focus is made out of is the physical, the exterior, the interior, and the spiritual. And the physical being, for me, it means two things. It means, like, are you physically focused and physically in good shape so you can handle this? So is your physical body good? And it also means the physical stuff that you're doing, your product, is that in the right place? Is that really focused? Is it figured out? Is it tight? Are there any superfluous things? Is there anything you need fixed right there? Then the internal kind of goes along with, okay, how is your belief system going? How is your internal compass going? What kind of questions are you asking yourself right now? So the belief systems, it's like that really goes deep, because if you don't get your roots right, if you are not focused on the right beliefs right now, this could go horribly wrong. And it is going horribly wrong for a lot of people. So flipping your focus and getting your beliefs right and focusing on the right beliefs to get you the fruit, the outcome that you want, is one of the most important things you can do right now when there's a lot of other stuff you can't do. And that's the same thing you really need to help your people, your team do, because they're governed and driven by the same beliefs and by the same gaps that you are, because you're modeling for them. So get your roots right, get your beliefs right. And a lot of times to get better outcomes with that is when you're not really getting the answers that you need, you have to ask better questions. So what are the questions that you're asking yourself that are governing your day? Are they questions that get you to a bigger, more inspiring, more tangible, more higher impact outcome? Or are they questions that make you believe less and you're in fear and you are just taking whatever you can, whatever comes your way, and you're not making any decisions over it? So that's the internal part. So we talked about the physical, the internal. The external is like, okay, what's that stuff that's externally happening that you can control? You know, what are things you need to learn? What is training that your team needs to do? What are systems you have to put in place? You know, what are the hires you need to make going forward? Getting all of that just tangible external stuff, the strategy figured out. This is a brilliant time to do it. Making sure you get the help that you need to do that, because what wasn't working before is most likely not going to work either unless you get help to fix it. So don't make that mistake that you think you're going to have better outcomes than before if you keep doing the same thing over and over, and it's not going to yield better results. So that's your external part. And then the next one I want to stack on that is your spiritual system, your spiritual beliefs. And again, I don't care what you believe in, but my clients all have businesses that serve for a higher purpose. And that can be in very simple ways. You know, one of my clients, an absolute amazing guy, his company produces high performance race car parts. And his intention behind his business is make it the best place to work. And that is his mission. That is his higher impact. That is his outcome that he really believes in. So that's his spiritual connection to make the world a better place through his business. Now, if that spiritual connection happens through the impact your product makes or just through the impact you have as a leader, I don't care. But have that connection, because without it, well, you're just doing it for the money. That's kind of boring. So control your focus. Make sure you control your physical, as in your body and your product, your internal dialogue, the external circumstances, and your spiritual beliefs. And that will get you better outcomes. So I want to give you this little bit of homework over the weekend. Try this. Observe what type of emotional state you spent most of your time in. So how do you spend most of your day? Is it that you are mostly, and just observe how many emotional states those are. So, you know, you'll have like happy and joyful and grateful and pleasant and angry and negative and frustrated and in fear, whatever that is. So just write down what all those emotional states are. And then I'd like you to pay attention at the end of the day. Where did you spend most of your time? Just circle the ones, you know, the negative and the positive ones, and give it little percentages. And look at where did you spend most of your time. Now, if you're finding that most of your time was spent in those negative vibrations, well, guess what? What's your outcome going to be like? What's your focus going to be like? How are you going to make your decisions? So, hope this is inspiring and useful to you. Have a fabulous weekend. If you want to talk more about this, you can always reach us by going to bulletproofstartups.com and watching our training, and you can always book a session from there. So go to bulletproofstartups.com and check out what we have there for you. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you next week.